Hi everyone, it's Emelina, Easy C Film Girl, and it's been forever and ever and ever. I'm coming on here to do a P4 update, and um, gosh, really just to tell you guys, I suppose a little story about myself, because this P3 and P4 really brought up stuff that I thought I had fixed and were not problems in my life. And that sort of thing. So it's been like a wild ride, and I've had to, re-figure out and also do kind of honestly do work on myself. If I had the money, maybe I probably would have gone to counseling. It's been like that kind of emotionally crazy. But so in my round, we'll do this as a story. In my round one, P3, I was so surprised at how natural it felt and wonderful, and I felt in control. And then I immediately moved into P4 when it was time to, I took 21, 22 days of P3 and I moved into P4. And then that went so well, and I felt really good and in control. And at the same time, I was so excited about like my new body. And I was like 25 pounds down. And the 170s was really exciting for me because for the 10 years that I was overweight, I could never get to the 170s. I would always get to the low 180s or the high 180s. I could just not get under that. So it was just ecstatic. All right, so then we moved forward to round 2, the end of P2. And if you watched my videos in P2, I didn't make a whole lot of them, but this round. But you could see that I was frustrated and irritated. And I remember saying that like I felt like I should have stopped and like restarted when I was ready, and like listened to myself, because I really was just moving forward, because I felt like I didn't want to waste time. I wanted to release this weight and then move forward. So P2 was extremely not enjoyable, and from what my family says, I wasn't very nice to be around. So at the end of P2, round 2, I started having insane behavior and cravings. I would lay in bed at night just like fantasizing about food that last week and what I was going to eat, and I had all these plans. And so, and also then at the 3 days that I weaned myself off of the HCG, I think the very last one, I went to an event, and so I tried to eat about 500 calories worth of food, but it was not P2. So all these things are happening. I start into P3, and I'm crazy. I'm crazy in so many ways. I'm using MyFitnessPal and putting my calories in, and by lunchtime, I'm almost to my calories for the day, and we all know that, dinner takes up a reasonable amount of calories. So for a full week, I was losing my mind. Like, the only way to describe it was that I started to feel really out of control with food, and I haven't felt that way since I was like, I don't know, 25, 26. Like, angry and just frustrated, and I finally stopped counting calories. And for most of that 3 weeks, I didn't weigh myself, maybe once a week. And I could not stay at my LDW. I was consistently over it. My LDW was 157.9, I believe. And just, I couldn't, I was like 159 constantly. And that felt really scary to me. And I was in the 160s for such a long period of time in my P2 that I didn't really feel like I had gotten out of them, so that being in the 150s, it didn't feel set in. And that really scared me. Because whereas I felt very safe at 178 or whatever, 174, 175, wherever I was in my first P3, P4. So 157, 158, 159, and 160, instead of feeling kind of secure in that weight and okay and excited that I was lower, I felt so scared, like I was going to lose control and get higher. Because I had such a hard time in P3, just so I mean, it was very emotionally painful. Stuff came up from when I was younger that I thought I was okay with, um, and behavior came up from like years ago that I haven't had. I mean, this is all in this 3-4 week period, and it just completely freaked me out. I was just so afraid, and it took a lot of work, a lot of meditation, a lot of like emotional release work to stabilize. I mean, there was a lot of crying and even some bad behavior with kind of like almost bingey purgy, uh, just being completely unable to cope with like eating, and all of a sudden I forgot how to eat and what I was supposed to eat and what was good for me, and I would look back at what I ate in P3 on my Fitness Pal last time, and I was like, that's what I'm eating, and I'm out of control. So, in my opinion, I think that my behavior at the end of P2 and P3 this round screwed up my hypothalamus. That's what I think. I could be wrong. But it's been really difficult to stabilize. So when I started weighing again, and like I said, I think I weighed maybe once a week, I was always up, I was always back up again, 159. And I finally decided, like, just kind of go into P4 and you'll be okay and just try it out. And I immediately got a fear of, like, weighing again. It was like I couldn't face reality. And I had this constant feeling of being out of control and afraid of food. So I just thought, let me actually just go into P4 and like try and face this. And so I did. Anyway, so about 3 weeks ago, I started consistently weighing myself a little bit more. And when I first weighed myself, it was like 162. And I was, like, crap, but I'm not gonna do another steak day. I'd already done 3 steak days somewhere during P3 and maybe the first bit of P4. And that was when I was in the high 150s, 159, 160. So maybe I didn't have to. They were all about a week apart, but it was just trying to gain control over the situation, trying to stabilize, because I guess I really didn't stabilize in P3 well. So I don't know. I just kept weighing myself every day, and it was 162, 162, 162. I mean, I'm never that stable at a particular weight, but I thought, okay, let me try and P3 it down instead of doing a correction of any sort. So I tried, and I mean, I got maybe close to 161 point something. And then Easter happened, and Easter kind of put things into another role of me not wanting to weigh myself, and my time of the month was coming sometime, kind of blaming my cravings on that, whatever, I don't know. And so for about a week again, I didn't weigh myself. So I would say about 1 week ago, my mother was also in town. I had gone out to eat the night before, and I had also eaten lunch out, which I really don't normally do. I usually try and make my own food all the time. And I weighed myself the next morning, and it had been a few days, and I was 167.0. And I was just like, oh, crap. I was pretty emotionally stable in that moment, but I was like, yikes. So, you're just running through your mind. I did so much work in P2, and I don't want to do it again. So I decided to do steak day, and I thought, this has got to be totally mostly water weight, and I ended up losing 4 pounds from steak day, which is kind of unheard of, at least for me. And that proved to me that was totally water retention, so I guess I was 163 the next day, even. And then I decided to do P3, and I was just going to level back off and not, just be happy with maybe 160, 161, something like that. Well, I weighed myself for a few days, and I stayed about 161.7 for a few days from doing P3 only. And then my time of the month hit, and I was just like, I can't be bothered with this again. And I've also noticed that if I work out and hike a lot, I sometimes gain this round, whereas in round 1 I didn't. So anyway, I hiked one day, same day or the day before I got my time of the month, and my friend made me breakfast, and he always kind of uses a lot of salt. And I woke up the next morning, and this was yesterday, at 165.3, so right back up again. Is it my time of the month? Maybe. Although I don't normally gain like crazy. Was it salt? Was it muscle water retention? Probably. I don't know. But I was just like, you're so close to starting another round and you have not stabilized, Emelina. What are you going to do? So this is my new plan. I guess I haven't really told you about my emotional issues. I don't know. It's just like a lot to talk about. Okay, let me tell you my new plan, and then we'll see if I want to say anything else. So my new plan is that I'm going to probably take a few more weeks off. So instead of starting into round 2, P2, next week, I'm probably going to try and do P3 for about a week to 2 weeks. Maybe do a little P4 in there. I feel fairly comfortable with P4 foods for the most part in stabilizing. And try and get to a weight that is further away from 160 or 163, 162, and a little closer to 157.9. And try and stay there for a few weeks to I need to lock it in before I start another round. I don't want to screw with my body too much. And I'm still working on the emotional stuff and the food stuff. And I'm going to just say really, really quickly, the emotional stuff that I didn't realize is that I all of a sudden am getting what I want, and I don't want it. I'm more attractive, I'm thinner. Now I have to deal with, not only that people might actually want to, like me or love me, but then I could also be rejected for myself instead of being rejected for my weight. Like, all these things that I, did to myself for all those years, I have to kind of come to terms with them and really be the person I am. So, and then, it's a little scary because you think, what if I screw up and I go back? So, I don't know. Anyway, I feel really good. The feeling of being out of control is gone. That really was so scary, and it really upset me, and I had to do tons of work to sorry. I made another video before this one, and it was way long, and I didn't cry in it. Anyway, it was just so shocking to me that stuff comes up that you don't think is wrong with you anymore, but apparently that stuff is there, and anyway, it's just I'm at a midway point in my weight. So 160s is about halfway there. I've lost 40 pounds, 44 on a really good day. So it's just, wow. Who knew that there is stuff to deal with because the weight I was when I started this, I had been that weight for so long, and I had really come to terms with it. And I knew that I was going to find something one day and release the weight, but I didn't know what it was and when it would ever happen. But I always kind of had hope. But I had done so much to at least try and have an emotional stability. And I have wonderful men friends who are very nice to me. And as far as really having a good relationship with a guy, that hasn't happened in such a long time. And I didn't like like myself when I was heavier, and I didn't want anyone else to like me. And no matter how crazy or stupid that is, it was how I felt. And so I obviously blockaded relationships for the most part from coming into my life. So I don't know, I'm just at a point now where I'm so excited about that part of my life, and then at the same time, kind of freaked out about it. And it feels so good to be thinner, and it feels so scary. I don't know. The end. I got nothing else to say. I want to say goodbye. I don't know how. It's been too long. I don't get on anymore. Anyway, couldn't do this without you. I would never have been able to do any of this without all of you. You know, everybody told me about their P2s and that they had a tough time too, and that it's not crazy to be going through this. And but it kind of locked me down. I just didn't want to get on. But I'm doing it finally, and love you guys. I hope you're all doing wonderful. When I do decide to start my next round 3, I will let you know. Until then, I probably won't make too many more updates because same old for me. I mean, just trying to live my life. Okay, so I hope you're all doing amazing, and I will talk to you soon. And if nothing else, I'll at least comment on your videos. Alright,